So we're off to Anvil today. Do a bit of a pole clinic. Oh, well done. Good lad, good boy.
All loaded and on our way, aren't we, Mummy?
Yes.
As Mum already mentioned where we are and what we're doing, here I am, we've tacked up and I'm now about to get on. Great start because as we go off I knock the step over, but he didn't care at all, thankfully.
Hello. It's okay. Look, come see. Hello. Hello. Yes, it's okay. Hello. Yes, it's me, you donut. It's oh yeah. There's tractors outside. There's dogs outside. Oh yeah, Hero loves himself. He loves the mirror. He's such a poser.
So I've included a lot of baby footage in this video so that people can see, and it's not all rainbows and sunshines when, you know, taking a baby and a youngster out to new places. So obviously you could see he was a bit looking for the gallery side of the arena. Mum just reassured him, and then he had a little look at himself in the mirror because he loves his reflection. He always has done. When I've taken him to other venues that have got a mirror, he likes to stare at himself. So you saw that we warmed up in walk first, just going in and out of the poles. And then we started going in trot, and then we're going over the poles. So working on straightness and making sure he was bending off our leg aids, and he did a really good job. And it was really nice because he led the way for the whole session. So he had to not focus on the other horses, concentrate on what he was being asked. And I was really pleased with him. And also to go in and out of all the other obstacles that were there without looking at them, and he was a superstar. It's great to get these babies out to different venues, and obviously with all the banners and things on the side, it's really great prep for any shows. And yeah, then we went off to do a little exercise. Everyone else did it in canter, but we had to just go over these two poles. In typical baby fashion, for some reason, he decided that he didn't like that pole. I don't know whether he just didn't see it, whether it had a reflection from the outside. He's never ever looked at a pole before, so we were a bit confused as to why he took a disliking to this one. But I've left this footage in just to see how he then grows in confidence every time we come over it. So I'm sorry if anyone finds it boring, but I just wanted to include and show how he obviously came round and looked at it, and then he came round and was a bit like, oh, I need to have a really big think about it. And just there you saw he gave a little look, nothing too bad, but we just kept coming round until he confidently went over it. See there, just a tiny look. So I think we do it one more time, and he was much more relaxed, much more thinking about what we were asking, not looking unsure, which is exactly what we wanted. So there, look, he was not a bother. So then we asked for his first canter, and it took a bit of encouragement, but all we were asking was just a few strides up the long side, and he was a good boy. So then we just had to do the same exercise on the other rein, and it was really interesting to me to see how he would be over the poles. Obviously he's been over it, but you could just see there he just still looked at it. So I can only assume it's got something to do with the light from outside looking at, like, shining on it, but who knows what goes through horses' heads. It's just down to us to ride them through it and make sure that he's confident with it. So again, we're just doing this exercise, trotting around. Everyone else did it in canter, but because he's a baby, I didn't think that he was ready for that, so I like to try and keep it easy for him. So we were still in trot, and for some reason he then decided he didn't like that one. I think it was just him trying it on a little bit. He's still a baby. He's still, you know, working out what he can and can't do. But I was really pleased that he came back around, no problem. So then again, we had a bit of a canter on this rein. And here you see him a little bit being a bit like, I don't want to canter down there away from everybody else. But he didn't do anything naughty. He didn't, you know, completely tell me, no, can't do it. So then we then have another canter down this rein. And again, you could see him a little bit looking at the gallery, but he was still a good boy and did as I asked, which is all I can ask for. On to the next exercise. So this exercise was going over a raised pole. So you can see there the raised pole gets moved each time we come round. So here it was sort of spread quite a far away from the second one, but then we keep coming round and it gets moved closer, just to basically get him to really think about where he's placing his feet. And it's just a good exercise, obviously, for raising his legs and getting that bum working, getting that core working as well. But I just thought it was actually quite a good exercise that I might try at home, because it's really unpredictable and they've got to really think about what they're doing. And then for the last exercise, we then had to go up this sort of grid, if you like, of poles. And they had the straightness poles either side. So this was the first time going up it. Now I have included a few clips of this and how it progresses. So again, sorry if it's boring to watch me just going up and down the same line of poles, if you like, but I just find it really interesting to see how he reacts to the progression, and I like to include it for anyone else who's got youngsters and wants to see the progression rather than just the end result and be like, oh, look how well behaved that horse was, and think that they should just be able to put the poles as close together as they were and expect their horse to be fantastic, because that isn't the real world. So as you can see, each time I come back round, the two straightness poles get closer together. So on this one, they're not there. On this one, you see that they're sort of quite close, but still enough. And then on the third one, look, they're very narrow. And he's obviously never seen anything like that. But so I said, okay, you know, you're fine. So we did it in walk, and he was really looking about what he was doing, where he's placing his feet. And I don't mind that at all, because I think that's quite intelligent. Rather than a horse that will just plough through it, he's thinking and actually paying attention to what's in front of him. So again here, he then didn't say no, but he slowed himself down to think about the question, which is fine. So I've included all of this just to show his little youngster brain working it out, and I think that's really nice to see. So here, this one was just as narrow, and he didn't even bat an eyelid at it, and then he didn't bat an eyelid at this. Really, really good boy. I was so pleased with that. And then we finished on just coming through it the other way, because it's always good to do things on both reins. And as you can see, Mr. Twinkle Toes, but he didn't question the narrowness of those poles. Really pleased with how he worked today and how he finished. He felt much more confident towards the end as well, which is always a really good thing, to go from being a bit unsure of the new arena to trotting through a new exercise as sweetly as he is. So I hope you've also enjoyed watching the progression of how he was at the beginning to how he is at the end. And then I included this little clip because he was watching the other horse go through that grid with a little jump, and he was so cute watching him jump.
And that is the training over and done with. So he's had a super job. His brain is a bit tired. He says, I actually quite like it here, actually, quite like the training and whatnot, but if you insist I go home, then okay. Oh, super job. Well done, hero. Good boy. Good lad. Good boy. Good boy. Super job. And we're home.
I just thought I'd leave this clip in because Hero likes to, if you've watched any of my other videos, jump off the ramp. I don't know why, it's just something he's done, so I've now started doing it so he has to lead the way and he has to figure out his own feet rather than just jumping off because he's watched me go off it. And as you can see, he really is processing where he's putting his feet. But yeah, it was much more progress because there was no jumping involved. And that was the last time he was ridden before his 5-week holiday. So thanks for watching and joining along, and I hope you've enjoyed the video of his pole lesson.